everybody, welcome back to another Stikbot review. In the last review, we checked out the Klikbot Galaxy Pack, and I said in that video we were going to review the Stikbot Legends next, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be reviewing the Stikbot Legends. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't really been following along with most of this Stikbot Legends stuff, so I'm going to just try to review this for what it is, and we'll see how it goes. Whoopah! So, looks like we got another $1. A little paper here. This seems to have all their names and stuff. That is useful for me. And here are the Stikbots. Here's the first one. Ooh, look at all the printing and detail on this. Let's see what else we got. This one seems to have a specialized head. Interesting. In here is a blue one with a white face. Oh, and some printing. We have in this one a girl Stikbot. Interesting. And I'm guessing these are the accessories. Alright, you know what time it is? And now, let's build them. Alright, I finished all of them, and I will say these guys have some pretty intricate builds. Let's go ahead and take a look at them all individually. So we're going to do less of this in stop motion because there's a lot to talk about these guys, and there's a lot of new mechanics and stuff that it's better to just do it in live action. So we'll start off by looking at the blue Stikbot on its own, and as you can see here, this is like the first ever really just traditional blue Stikbot ever. The previous ones were a lot more neon, as you can see here. And this one has a white face and white suction cups, as well as some unique printing on the legs and the torso. He's got a little bird on his chest. A cool thing about this Stikbot is if you don't want to use the printing, all you have to do is turn him around. And now he's just a normal blue Stikbot. Now I'll talk about some of the accessories that are included. Here's the first one. This is a new type of little back piece that goes and attaches onto the Stikbot's back. As you can see, it has some ball joints there, and what those are used for are the little wings. So you just attach them nice and easy like so. And now you've got some posable wings on this back piece. There's also a peg on the back of this, and what this allows you to do is actually put the weapons on that back peg. So a lot of the weapons have little holes, such as this one, and you would use them to basically just store them in the back. Now, unfortunately, this shield that is included with this one doesn't actually fit on this peg, unfortunately. And I guess that's just because it doesn't come out enough. These little circular pieces for the wings kind of block the thing. So that is kind of unfortunate, but the other weapons it'll work on. The way you attach most of these back parts is there's this little hole at the top. You just take your Stikbot's head, poke it up a little bit, and slide this through. And now you've got a back part on your Stikbot. Now we've got another new piece, this one here. It is another little black clip of sorts, and this one does have a peg that fits the shield. This will just go on like so. And the way this one attaches, it's a little difficult to do, but basically the arm of the Stikbot has to be in this specific orientation with the little square out the side, facing like this. Then the little clip goes like this, and you kind of just squeeze it in there. It's not the easiest thing to do, but once it's at like this position, you gotta sort of put these little square flaps, press down and like tuck it in forward. And there you go. Now you've got a cool little shoulder attachment part, which also carries the shield here. Now let's just put down the helmet, and this is the complete Valor here. It's a pretty cool figure. I definitely like the whole theming that this guy has going on with like the birds and the eagles. You can definitely see it in the wings, the printing, and the shield. I think they could have done a little bit something interesting with the helmet. The spikes don't exactly resemble birds, I guess, but it does look cool. I mean, I don't expect this guy to have a beak on his helmet or anything. Lastly, I really like how the shield looks. It's a very glittery, almost chrome-like gold sort of color. The wings and helmet aren't the same color as this, but I really do like just like silver things in general, just shiny objects, and we don't see this much in Stikbots, so it's really cool. Alright, next we have Ruebell, which is probably the first ever Stikbot to genuinely be characterized as a girl, and not like this orange Klikbot, which is a girl because Stikbot Central said so. Helping to sell that fact are the eyelashes. That is a new face print. There's also a print on the body. It seems to be a new sort of chest plate, armor type thing, with a gem down the middle. She comes with multiple different accessories, including this cape and hairpiece, all of which are made from the same material, which is a sort of rubbery type material, so it's a little bit flexible. I do want to pay attention to this hairpiece first, because it's surprisingly well made. It's like very detailed. There's lots of just like swerves, and you can see like each strand of hair. Whoever did this did an amazing job. And I think this is one of the best Stikbot hairpieces we've had in years, especially for female Stikbots. Probably the best hairstyle for females is this one from Series 1. And this one's quite old, so it's cool to finally have a new one that I think looks good. I can only hope that this one comes in more hair colors, maybe black or brown. The weapon that Ruebell comes with is this bow and 2 arrows, and like I said earlier, they are made of the same material as the rest of the accessories, which means they're rubbery, and that's actually kind of a downside because these weapons tend to warp and bend and stay like that, so you gotta be careful when you're using these. Try not to put them on any curved surfaces. Now the cool part is these arrows have these little sticks at the bottom of them, and this allows you to, 1, have the Stikbots hold them in their hands, and 2, you can see there's actually holes on this bow here, and with this little stick, you can actually put it down the middle and have the bow hold the arrow like this. You can have the arrows go down the middle or the sides like this to store them, and what I like about this feature is it actually has a use in stop motion. As you saw in the little clip earlier, you can have the arrow go on the bow on the front for just 1 frame, and that makes it look like you're shooting the arrow. It gives off the illusion that it is being shot, and it actually keeps it in the air without needing some kind of support or anything. And I think that's a cool feature. We don't see this very often with Stikbots, and it's something that only this bow can do. Not even the crossbow from the Klikbot could do that. Now, we do have an issue with this bow, and it comes down to weight. Stikbots generally can't hold heavy objects in their suction cups, so as a result, this bow is kind of heavy, especially with all the arrows. If I remove an arrow, nope. The other arrow, nope. This bow is a little heavy, and I think that might have to do with the rubber material. I'm not entirely sure if rubber or plastic is heavier for Stikbots to hold bows like this, but yeah, that's kind of a shame. You're gonna need some kind of sticky tack to go on the arm in order to have it stay up. Finally, let's talk about this cape, because not only does it look nice, it actually has a feature. On the back of this cape, you might have seen this already, it has a little peg hole, and we use that for attaching the bow on there, so you can just put it in with one of the many holes. You can even store the arrows on there, and now the bow is stuck on the cape, and you can use it to just transport it and have it on their back. Now, I feel like I mentioned this like a little over a year ago, but when the Klikbot Guardians came out, I praised them for being able to hold their weapons on their back, and I think Zing was listening, because for all the rest of these Stikbots, they can hold their weapons on their back, which is really awesome. So that was Ruebell. Now let's move on to the next Stikbot. Next we have Dominus, which is, I think, based on a bat. It kind of looks like a bat with the wings, but I kind of think it looks like a cat just because of the ears. It kind of feels a little cat-like. I don't know, that might just be me. Anyways, this is a dark blue Stikbot, first of that kind of color, with red suction cups. We've seen that before. And you can see he's got some interesting printing on the chest, as well as the feet. And of course, he's got his unique specialized head. And he comes with bat wings, which can be rotated and moved around, which is really neat. The wings attach on the back, just like Valor's do, like so. The difference with these wings is that there's 2 parts to them, and you just assemble them by putting the little peg through the hole, like so. Make sure that they both say RR or left left for left and right. And now, you've got this new wing piece, which can be posed like so. So you can have the wings down like this, and then they can spread out and up like that. Let's just attach it to the body now. And now we've got posable wings for this Stikbot. And you can technically put this on any Stikbot too. For example, you can give the recently released Vampire Stikbot these wings, and now he can fly. It may not be the right color, but I think it does look cool. Here's a look at the Dominus's weapon, and I gotta say it's a really cool looking weapon. It's certainly a very unique design for a spear. Unfortunately, it is quite long, so as a result we have another weight problem where he can't hold it up all the way, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But the cool news is that you can actually store his weapon on his back, and it will fit successfully, unlike Valor's weapon. So that pretty much is Dominus. I don't have much more to say, so now let's move on to the final Stikbot. Next we have Raze Oni, a very unique color of green Stikbot. I don't know what you call this green. For context, here's the first Stikbot, solid green color. And you look at this one and it's like almost turquoise, but like not exactly. It's more like jade green or jungle green or some other sea green or something like that. So it's a very unique color. I don't even think my camera is displaying the color properly on screen. But he also has some almost blue tinted white suction cups. These are some interesting suction cups. They're not exactly white, but they have like a tint of blue. So I'm not sure what color those are either. Let's look at the prints now, starting off with the face. He's got a lime face print, which is interesting. And he's got a very interesting mouth. You can see there's some curves on the end, which kind of make it look like teeth, I think. And he's also got a scar on his eye. On his leg, he has some throwing knives, or whatever you call those. And on his chest, you got more detail. Although, unfortunately, it kind of gets covered up by his accessories, so you won't really see that much. For his accessories, he's got the same sort of arm piece that Valor had, except he's got two of them, and for these, he's holding these little, they're not really weapons, but more like armor, sort of shin guards or whatever, with some spikes on the side, and those just go on the sides like so. Now his little bandana accessory is really cool. I'll walk you through how this works. So basically it is 3 parts, and there's this little middle part first of all, and they both just connect to the middle part like so. So first you're gonna take the centerpiece and just slide it through his neck, have the holes sticking out on those sides. You take the front of the mask and you just stick it on like so, and then you get the back, stick it on the back, and that's how you assemble his little scarf bandana. It's more like a bandana. And this is a really cool accessory. I love the way it looks. It still shows his mouth, which is interesting. I like that. And he has a peg on the back for equipping his sword. You just place that on the back like so, and now he can hold his sword. Let's take a little closer look at this sword, and it's a really nice design. I love how it is once again got some sparkly shiny paint on the front, making it look a lot more metal. And I love the spikes that come out on the sides. Really nice detail. There's a little hexagon towards the middle, and it's got a little ring at the bottom. This is a really cool weapon, and unfortunately it is awesome, but it does suffer weight problem again. It is a little too heavy for him to hold up on his own. Yeah. And I almost forgot one more accessory, his headband, which almost resembles a sort of ninja headband, but with horns coming out the side, because he's an Oni, I guess. And unfortunately, this headband is a little loose. It does not like stick on all the way. If I were to tilt him upside down, it's just gonna fall off. So that is a bit of a shame. Hopefully you can just find a workaround with this by attaching some sticky putty or something on there to make it stay on. Now let's go over my final thoughts on these Stikbot Legends. Let's start off by talking about their designs. Each of them has really nice designs. Probably my least favorite is Dominus, but he's still pretty good. But like besides that, all of them have just so much detail put into them, and the printing definitely helps that, gives them more character. And all of the unique accessories help add to their designs as well. You've got stuff like the bandana on Raze Oni, you've got the wings on Valor and Dominus, and the bow on Ruebell. There's certainly a lot of cool new accessories and elements introduced here, and I just can't get over how detailed these Stikbots are. I mean, we went from this to this. The evolution is insane. Now, details and cool accessories are great and all, but we mustn't forget what Stikbots are really all about. One of their main selling points, of course, I'm talking about the stop motion aspect of them. You know, the tagline, you create, you animate, you share. So how good are these Stikbots from a stop motion perspective? The answer is doable. It certainly isn't impossible, but it just may be a little difficult. There are two reasons for this. Number one, 3 out of the 4 Stikbot weapons are too heavy for these Stikbots to hold on their own. They can be held if you put some kneaded rubber under their arms or use a support, but these weapons on their own are too heavy for the Stikbots to carry. And reason number 2 is a general lack in mobility, and this is mainly a Stikbot problem in and of itself. Stikbots have never exactly been the best at moving like their arms, for example. It's always been a little awkward. So doing actions like swinging a sword or notching an arrow can be difficult with these Stikbots. And it's never been a problem really, because for the most part we'd always make comedy Stikbot videos, or if Stikbots are going to do action, they'll hold guns in their hands and just shoot from afar. But these guys are very exclusively action-oriented Stikbots. The whole idea of this series is to be able to make action videos with these Stikbots. But when these Stikbots aren't exactly the best at doing action in the first place, then you've kind of got yourself a problem. The only way I think you could solve this problem is if you had some sort of better version of Stikbot. One that was stronger and had more range of motion. Oh, wait a minute! Yeah, why aren't these Stikbots just Klikbots? I mean, think about it. Klikbots are the action-oriented Stikbot. They're stronger, they have more range of motion, and they're proven to be better at making action videos with. Sure, they haven't experimented with printing yet on Klikbots, so it might not come out as good as it does on these Stikbots, but it's worth a try. Klikbots are right there. I just don't see the point of Stikbot Legends. These might as well be action packs, because why have 2 action-oriented Stikbot lines if one of them is just going to be inferior to the other? In fact, I have a theory that this series wasn't even going to be Stikbots, or even Klikbots. And I have proof. 2 years ago on June 27th, Stikbot Central uploaded a bot watch video, in which they reveal a new sort of Stikbot. They call this the long bot, and you can see just how much more motion this has, even compared to Klikbots. This is a straight up armature, and you guys have no idea how big of a deal this is. This is what they use to make Wallace and Gromit. This right here has the potential for being one of the best figures for using in stop motion, and they clearly mention it being used for a new Stikbot series. It had to have been Legends.
Could the upcoming Stikbot series be using some kind of new action toy? I have some behind-the-scenes footage indicating that the upcoming Stikbot series will be using a new kind of toy that is similar to the regular Klikbots, but with a few major differences.
So why don't the Stikbot Legends we have today use that armature? Well, if I had to guess, it was probably a cost-saving measure. Zing probably didn't have enough resources and couldn't afford to make the long bots, so they just ended up using Stikbots as the model for the Legends series. And I can understand the decision from a business perspective if that's what happened, but it's still a mega shame. We could have had the next evolution to Klikbots with these Stikbot Legends. Instead, we're just left with these. I mean, it's possible that they could make the long bots in the future, but who knows? Well, that was certainly a rabbit hole I jumped down. I said I was going to review this set for what it was, and I did. I hope I didn't come across as too negative for this review. I do like these Stikbots, there's some good aspects to them, but there are just some flaws that I feel is important to point out. And I only want what's best for Stikbots, and by giving some constructive criticism, I hope that by doing that, Zing might watch this video and make some better decisions going forward and just make a better product in the end. So that was my review on the Stikbot Legends. If you made it till the end of this video, go ahead and reward yourself by hitting the like button down below, and feel free to comment which of these 4 Stikbots are your favorites. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.